this. And the concern that I have is dictators, obviously, still have people helping them be dictators. So how much should we as Americans be concerned about a Trump second term, especially considering how absolutely public and vocal Trump and his enablers have been about what the plans would be?
Sure. He's told us, actually it's probably not in his interest, because if he wants to get elected next year, it probably makes more sense for him to pretend to be someone who's moderated. So why he's being so frank, I have no idea, unless it's just anger, unless he wants to scare his opposition in the meanwhile. But, take a look as late as January 6th, 14 days before he was supposed to leave the presidency and almost did not in 2021. The evidence that we now have that he was not surrounded by enablers, as bad as some of these people were. Bill Barr was gone, but there were other people who said in the Justice Department, we will resign if you invoke the Insurrection Act or abuse the power of the presidency. How many times did you and I hear Donald Trump, when he was president, out talking to a rally say, I'm president and I have powers that are so big that I don't even talk about them, but one day I will use them. That's what a dictator said. If you elect Donald Trump, we're going to incur the serious danger that all of us Americans are going to be living under a presidential dictatorship. That's not what our founders intended.
And so, Michael, I guess one of the questions I have for you then is this: how do we convey this message? Because there's a subset of people out there that think that this doesn't affect them, right? It's happening to the others. It's very much this us against them mentality. I'm going to side with Donald Trump. Nothing bad could ever happen to me because I'm on Trump's side, and yet they forget, or they maybe are just ignorant to the reality, which is Trump is only in it for himself. So how does that message get conveyed to those that need to hear it the most?
Well, I have been writing books and studying presidential power since I was 18 years old. And so this is something I've thought a lot about for decades. And I just have to tell you, presidents in the United States have too much power. Thus far, we've relied on the fact that we've had people like George H.W. Bush or Dwight Eisenhower who know that it's the responsibility of a president to be restrained in using power such as martial law or the Insurrection Act. In 2016, our luck ran out. It may run out yet again next year. If that happens, just the Insurrection Act alone gives a president who is lawless or even obeying the law and just wants to use the military and use violence to curb his opposition enormous power. Perhaps the courts can curb it, but as you well know, the Supreme Court at this moment was already 1/3 appointed by Donald Trump. He appointed a lot of judges. He will yet again if he becomes president again. All I'm saying is watch out.